The cabin was filled with the soft rustle of newspapers, the rhythmic thumps of overhead bins shutting, and the polite, hushed voices of passengers settling into their seats. It was a typical domestic flight, nothing fancy, just a 3-hour trip across the country, but there was always something quietly thrilling about the hum of engines and the anticipation of takeoff. For most, this was routine. But not for the woman standing in the middle of the aisle with a scowl etched across her face like it was chiseled in stone. She looked to be in her late 40s. Her platinum blonde curls were so perfectly styled they didn't move, not even under the dim cabin lights. She wore designer sunglasses, sindoor sand, and neck pillow that was neon pink, clashing violently with her leopard print tracksuit. The monogram on her bag spelled Trina, and the tag swinging from the handle read, Trina K. Davis, executive member. She stood still, blocking the aisle with the indignant energy of someone who believed the world had failed her the moment she stepped on board. "This must be a mistake," she said, not to anyone in particular, but loudly enough to make 3 heads turn in mild annoyance. "This isn't Comfort Plus." Trina waved her boarding pass as though it were an accusation rather than a document. Nearby, a flight attendant named Danielle, polished and professional in her navy blue uniform, stepped forward with the calm smile of someone who'd handled worse before breakfast. "Ma'am, I can help you find your seat. May I see your boarding pass?" Danielle asked. Trina handed it over like she was surrendering a treasured family heirloom. Danielle gave it a quick glance. "You're in seat 18C. Right here," she said, gesturing to the row just beside her. "Comfort Plus covers rows 15 through 20 on this aircraft. You're in the right place." Trina didn't move. She folded her arms. "This is not what I paid for. I paid for extra legroom. This is regular coach with a fancy name." Danielle kept her tone even. "I understand you're concerned, ma'am. First class is full today, but you were seated exactly where your ticket indicates." "Wrong answer." Trina raised her voice just a notch, just enough to turn heads. "I don't think you understand. I'm a frequent flyer. I have status. I'm not supposed to be crammed in like this." More passengers looked up now. Some with curiosity, others with the resigned dread of knowing this flight might already be off to a rough start. "If you'd like," Danielle offered, still smiling, "once we're in the air, I'd be happy to bring you a complimentary beverage and snack." "Oh," Trina scoffed, turning to the man behind her. "Did you hear that? Pretzels and soda. That's what I get for spending thousands a year flying this airline. Do you believe this?" The man gave her a strained smile and turned toward the window. "This is unacceptable," Trina announced to rows 17 through 19. "I'm being treated like trash. Just because I'm not some influencer or celebrity doesn't mean I don't matter." A woman toward the front muttered, "Here we go." Jordan, another flight attendant, tall, composed, joined Danielle. "Ma'am," he said with more firmness, "we need you to be seated so we can begin safety checks. You're holding up the flight." Trina eventually relented with dramatic flair, stuffing her oversized tote into the overhead bin without closing it, plopping into her seat like a queen forced to ride a bus. Peace returned briefly. The plane doors sealed and the safety briefing began. Danielle passed by Trina without a word, but the quiet didn't last. The call button dinged. Twice. Danielle returned to find Trina now without her sunglasses, eyes sharp and cutting. "I want to speak to your supervisor." "I'm the senior flight attendant on board," Danielle replied calmly. "If there's an issue, I'll do my best to resolve it." Trina scoffed. "No. I want a real supervisor. Not someone reciting lines from a script. There is no other supervisor. If you continue to delay us, I'll need to notify the captain." "Go ahead. Report it," Trina snapped. As the engines roared and the aircraft began taxiing, Trina cast a disgusted glance at a toddler crying 2 rows up. Screaming kids. What's next? Once in the air, Trina wasted no time. The seatbelt light turned off and she sprang up, marching toward the front. "I need to speak to the pilot," she said loudly, waving her arm. Danielle intercepted her before she could reach the cockpit. "You cannot approach the cockpit, ma'am. Return to your seat." "Are you threatening me?" "You're violating FAA regulations." For a second, it seemed like Trina might back down. But no. She turned on her heel and stomped back to her seat. Anyone watching her jaw tighten knew the story wasn't over. Back in 18C, Trina pulled out her phone. She recorded herself in selfie mode. "This is your warning," she said, voice raised. "I was denied my upgrade. I'm being silenced. They won't let me speak to the pilot." What are they hiding? She then turned the camera toward Danielle, who was performing her post-takeoff checks. This is her, Trina hissed. This is who thinks she can treat paying customers like garbage. I hope she enjoys her 15 minutes of fame. Danielle didn't flinch. Please stop recording without my consent. If you continue to disrupt the flight, we'll take further action. Oh, so now you're threatening me, Trina barked. Passengers nearby shrank into their seats, hoping to fade into the fabric. Then Trina stood again and slammed her tray table down. I want to speak to corporate. This is a violation of my rights. Danielle returned. Ma'am, please sit down. You're endangering passengers and crew. Trina didn't reply. She slapped Danielle hard across the face. Gasps rang out. Someone yelled, "Oh my God." Danielle staggered, cheeks flushed red. But she stayed calm. She pulled out her radio. Captain, we have a physical assault on board. Please advise. For the first time, Trina looked uncertain. I didn't mean to. She provoked me, she stammered, looking around for support. She found none. Jordan stepped in, protective. You're now considered a threat. Sit down. Now. Trina fumbled with her seatbelt, trying to appear cooperative. Around her, phones recorded. A young woman leaned toward her friend. She just ruined her life. Danielle returned to the front, pressing a cold compress to her cheek. The captain's voice came over the intercom. Due to an onboard incident, we will be making an unscheduled landing. Please remain seated. Someone whispered. They're landing just for her. Damn right they are, another replied. Trina's eyes darted as panic set in. She whispered to the man beside her. They can't do this. Right? He didn't answer. Melissa, stoic and steady, walked the aisle, checking belts. Jordan assured passengers that police would meet them on the ground. The cabin was under control. Trina muttered, I didn't even hit her that hard. She's faking it. A man across the aisle leaned in. Lady, just stop talking. Silence fell again. The captain announced, We are diverting to Landon Regional Airport. Law enforcement will meet us at the gate. Phones recorded. A girl whispered, This is better than any movie. Her brother replied, It's already trending. I got the slap part. Trina tapped her phone furiously. No signal. No Wi-Fi. She was truly alone. When the plane landed, it was smooth, calm. The captain spoke once more. Remain seated. Officers are boarding to remove the disruptive passenger. No one moved. 2 uniformed officers entered, followed by the flight marshal. They approached Trina's row. You're serious? Trina gasped. She hit me first. The officer remained firm. Ma'am, come with us. No. I paid for the seat. You can explain everything on the ground. Trina clutched the armrest. Then she saw the phones. The cameras. The cold eyes of the passengers. She stood. As she walked down the aisle, flanked by officers, the cabin erupted into applause. A woman near the front said, About damn time. Once Trina was gone, the pilot said over the intercom, We'll now resume this flight without one passenger. The door sealed behind her. And with it, the air seemed lighter. Melissa stood tall, hands behind her back. Jordan nodded in quiet respect. As the plane climbed once more, the cabin transformed. It wasn't just a group of strangers anymore. It was a shared story now. A man muttered, I'm buying the flight attendants a drink when we land. Melissa resumed service. Her smile this time? Real. Not from duty, but from the smallest of victories, grace in chaos. In the back, a teenager edited her video. She's trending, she whispered. Her brother nodded. Airplane tea. She earned it. Jordan passed Melissa. You good? I'm okay, she said. Just tired. You'll be recommended for an award. Supervisor already knows. Melissa blinked. Really? Word spreads fast when you go viral midair. The rest of the flight passed uneventfully. Sunset painted the sky. The horizon glowed pink and orange. Before descent, a man handed Melissa a folded napkin. She opened it in the galley. Thank you for showing us what grace looks like. You made us proud today. Her throat tightened. As the plane touched down at its final destination, no one spoke. But everyone felt it. Something had changed. Melissa stood near the exit. Passengers paused, not just to say thanks but to look her in the eye. One woman squeezed her hand. A boy said, You're going viral. Everyone's cheering for you. Melissa smiled. Not because she wanted fame, but because in a world too full of outrage, she had met it with restraint. And won. Later, in the terminal, she was met by a sharp-eyed woman in a sleek blazer. "I'm Diane Edwards, regional supervisor. You did your job today, Melissa. And you did it better than most ever could." "I just kept calm," Melissa said. Diane nodded. "And you did it with grace. There's talk of a promotion. Rest for now, we'll talk details later." As Melissa rode to the hotel with the crew, the city blurred past. Her phone buzzed constantly. She didn't check it. In the holding room at the airport, Trina sat slumped, handcuffed. Her phone had been confiscated. Her name was already trending for all the wrong reasons. The hashtags were brutal. The videos relentless. Her smirk was gone. Melissa, meanwhile, stood in her hotel bathroom brushing her hair, adjusting her uniform for the next flight. Her reflection looked different. Still tired but steady, the mark on her cheek fading. She gave herself a nod. The skies were wide and unpredictable. But she was ready. And no one, not even a passenger like Trina, would write her story for her.